What I will confess to you is this. If you asked me 10 years ago, what did I think about Bitcoin? I'll admit I never even heard of Bitcoin. Hi, welcome to another episode of Finance with N. My name is Niranjan, and I'm here to take you or to tell you about my investment journey. My goal is that one day I can live off passive income. Today, I'm here to talk to you about Bitcoin and what my views are about Bitcoin. I'm not here to explain to you how Bitcoin works. I'm not here to lecture you on whether I think or to debate or argue with those who think Bitcoin is bad, Bitcoin is worth zero. And at the same time, I'm not a Bitcoin freak where I'm going to preach to you about how Bitcoin is the most amazing asset ever. What I will confess to you is this. If you asked me 10 years ago, what did I think about Bitcoin? I'll admit I never even heard of Bitcoin. If you asked me maybe 7 or 8 years ago, what did I think of Bitcoin? I can tell you I would have thought, okay, this is useless. This is a Ponzi scheme. This is not for me, and so on. After reading quite a bit about it, I cannot say I'm an expert, but I see it as a digital asset. Some people compare it to digital gold or call it digital gold. What I do believe is that it's an asset that's scarce, largely because you need complex computers doing complex math, which require a lot of energy. And at the same time, it's tougher to mine Bitcoin because every 4 years of the halving of Bitcoin or the number of Bitcoins that are available to be mined. So there's only ever going to be 21 million Bitcoins. And whenever there's a certain scarcity or a certain limit on a certain asset, that asset more often than not becomes more and more pricey. Now, sure, Bitcoin could go to zero. There's always a possibility Bitcoin could lose a lot of value. But then I thought to myself, okay, let's say I have $100. It could be dollars, euros, pounds, and I lose one out of the 100, right? I said to myself, what does that mean? Sure, I'd be upset that I lost 1 out of 100 that I have, but it's not the end of the world. And so I thought about my total net worth or all my assets, and I said, what if I put 1% of that into Bitcoin? Sure, that 1% could go to zero, but what if that 1% multiplies? What if it becomes 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? That's pretty good, right? So then I thought to myself and I said again, the downside is kind of low so long as I don't invest a crazy amount into Bitcoin, but the upside is still pretty good based on the things that I just told you. So I decided to invest some of my money into Bitcoin. I said, okay, let's find a broker or, a place where I can trade that's safe. Let's keep my Bitcoin in a safe place. Did the research on that. And then I started to buy Bitcoin. And Bitcoin has done very well for me over the years. Sure, if I started 10 years ago, perhaps I could have even retired by now. But I try to not think about that too much. I try to think more about the future, and I believe that Bitcoin will do well even in the coming years. There are various targets. If I'm honest with you, I'm not here to try and tell you Bitcoin is going to reach, I don't know, 500,000 or 1 million whenever, because I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. I know there are people who know more about Bitcoin who've made certain claims as to when Bitcoin would reach a certain amount by which year, but I'm not qualified to do that, and I don't even intend to do that. What I do believe in is that Bitcoin will increase in value, and that's why I'd like some portion of my portfolio exposed to Bitcoin. And that's kind of what I've done, and I'm pretty comfortable with it. Now, there are some people who say, let's stake the Bitcoin, let's lend it, let's do other things with the Bitcoin. To be honest with you, I'm not very comfortable about that. I'd like my Bitcoin to be my Bitcoin for now. My views may change on this later on, but for now, I'm keeping the Bitcoin. If it does go down, if the price does fall, I'm going to buy more. Sure, Bitcoin has fallen quite significantly from its all-time highs, but I'm not too worried because I've used that opportunity to buy more. Is Bitcoin going to be 25% of my portfolio or 20%? Probably not. I would be a bit apprehensive or concerned at that point, but I'm pretty happy at where Bitcoin is in my current portfolio. Now, since we're talking about Bitcoin, I'm sure a lot of you may ask, is Niranjan investing in other crypto? And the answer is no. I'm not putting my money into other crypto. I have tried putting my money in other crypto, but to be honest with you, I like to bet on the winner. I like to bet on the crypto that I feel is going to do well, and I know it's going to do well. Sure, in the short run, maybe something else like Ether or Solana may do better in the next 1 month or 2 months. I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. But my belief is that over the long run, Bitcoin will do well. I'm putting my money on Bitcoin doing well, and that's my crypto strategy, is to focus on Bitcoin. For those of you who have some other views on other crypto, please mention them in the comments below. I'd be happy to read about it. If you'd like to mention your views about Bitcoin, please mention that as well. If you have any insights, your thoughts, what do you think? Where do you think Bitcoin will be in, 5 years or 10 years? Please let me know. And once again, please like and subscribe to the channel. It's really appreciated. Thank you. Good luck investing. Have a good day. Bye.